Good afternoon, Rich Nast with Open Systems Media here for my weekly chat with Ray Zinn. Good afternoon, Ray. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much. How's it back in New Jersey?
It's actually raining and not nice weather out today, but it is what it is. So interesting week. We had a very interesting week. I was actually out at Electronica last week in Munich when the election took place, but it was quite a week. And we can probably talk about what effect this might have over the country over the next 4 years. We could talk about that probably for a long time. But you are a very long-time veteran of the electronics/semiconductor industry, so I'd like to keep our discussion relative to that. So what effect do you think that having Donald Trump as president will have on our industry?
I think it's going to be relatively positive. Of course, the dominant characteristic is going to be whether you are a U.S.-based corporation or a offshore-based corporation. So that's going to make a big difference. If the repatriation act goes through and a reasonable repatriation value is placed on those assets offshore, then I think that'll be a positive. And also, if there's a value-added tax or a tariff put on the products that are coming into this country, that could make it more equal too, providing you're a U.S. corporation. So there are some real upside to that. Plus, Trump said he's willing to renegotiate the NAFTA. So and in fact all treaties. And his goal is to get as many jobs back into the U.S. as he possibly can. So it just depends upon your view as to whether you view yourself as a U.S. company or not. I know in the electronic industry, it's probably relatively evenly split between U.S. and foreign corporations, both those who are U.S. based but yet have foreign corporations. So that has to be taken into consideration.
You think you could simplify that for me? What exactly do you mean by that? That it makes a difference whether you're a U.S. company or not? Is that because of the tax implications?
So to be a foreign corporation or a foreign-based corporation, a foreign tax corporation, you'd have to have a substantial number of your assets offshore, and that means people primarily. And even though you're like Apple and Cisco are U.S. based in the sense where their headquarters are here, they have their tax structure is foreign. I think Apple is in Ireland, and I'm not sure where Cisco is, but it depends again, where your tax base is. And the reason that we have this repatriation issue of the tax or the money that's trapped offshore is because many years ago the government allowed you to set up foreign corporations so that you could avoid the U.S. taxes. But our friend Trump is talking about lowering those corporate taxes, making it more competitive. So, for example, if he lowered it from 35 down to 25, that's now you're getting more competitive. I think the average is for a foreign is about 15%. I think Taiwan's like 18 or 17, and some others are like 10 or 12, but I think the average is around 15. So if he knocks it down to 25 and then repatriates that money, allows it to be repatriated, then that could be a real leveling of the playing field.
Now, what specifically is that tax based on? What is it that's being taxed at this number? You said 15%.
Okay, that's the income. In other words, the money you earn on your business. If you don't make any money, if you're a nonprofit or if you're not profitable, it doesn't matter if you're foreign or not because, you're not paying taxes anyway. But, we're talking about companies that are profitable and that do when you make money and you're a foreign company, or a foreign tax company, then that income you earn on your business is trapped offshore. You can't bring it back because you're a foreign country, foreign company. So that's the meaning of having a foreign tax base as opposed to just being a U.S. based company. So it's taxes that are applied to your income.
That sounds like it's a pretty simple fix. Why hasn't that been done before?
Well, for one thing, the prior administration wants higher taxes. In other words, they're trying to get, because there are a lot of other programs that they're trying to fund with taxes, and they believe that lowering the tax rate, of course, would dramatically increase the debt structure of the country, and so they've been, for the last at least 8 years, they've had, I think Bush had a lower tax rate, but then it was raised back up again when Obama administration came in, and that higher tax rate, of course, makes the U.S. less competitive. U.S. companies less competitive.
Okay. Now, what about the tax or the discussed tax about imports and exports?
Well, tariffs, again, I don't know too much about what his plan there is, and I think it's going to be country by country, depending upon the trade agreement we have with that particular nation. But if you lower the tax rate for the U.S. Corporations, down to say 25% or 20%, and then you put some kind of a tariff, a 7, 8, whatever percent tariff on it, then you're really now you've really leveled the playing field between a foreign-based company and a U.S. tax company. So that's going to go probably country by country. I don't think there's going to be a uniform tariff, even if one is applied. He's been talking about it, but I haven't seen enough information on that to know. He says he's going to renegotiate all those agreements, and then out of that will determine what the tariff will or will not be.
That could be many, many years in the making.
No, it could be done really, really very, very quickly. It could happen within the first 100 days of his administration. That can be, if the country doesn't want to cooperate, well, of course, then that makes it even easier. So if there's some discussion to go on about these agreements, that could take some time. But I don't think it has to. I mean, I think these countries are already beginning to feel the pinch, and I think Canada said they're willing to renegotiate, and I think Mexico will want to too, just because they don't want to lose all those jobs. And so, we do have some clout, and I think it could happen relatively quickly.
Okay. That's probably enough for today, so let's put you on the spot. What's your gut feel 4 years from now? Are we going to be saying, wow, that was a great deal, or are we going to be saying, what a mistake this was?
I don't know that I'm not pessimistic about a mistake. I do feel that the growth of this country will increase and improve. The GDP will go up, and depending, again, how much cooperation he gets in the Congress, that will determine to some degree how much of an impact it will have. I'm hoping with the fact that both houses and the executive branch are now under the same, at least political structure, that we will see resumed growth in our country, probably toward the later half of 2017.
Okay, well, that would be fantastic news for everybody. All right, for this week, I am Rich Nass. That was Ray Zinn, and hope you have a great week, Ray.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for inviting me again, Rich.
My pleasure.